If you watch WWE, you're aware of the TNA and the WWE relationship, and you're waiting for Dolph Ziggler to show up. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Bollocks, mate. Michael, I don't think he's showing up, you one. Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, pretty much destroyed one of the very few things I want out of this TNA and WWE partnership, but I actually respect what he said. We'll talk about Dolph Ziggler, SmackDown getting some changes, Santos Escobar situation, The Rock's big flop, Kevin Nash angry at WWE, the Hardy Boyz winning the Tag Team Championships, and John Cena's final opponent finally revealed. Welcome back to Greatness of Wrestling, as I welcome you to participate in excessive glazing. Don't be shy, like the video, it won't hurt nobody. Dolph Ziggler, as y'all know, one of my all-time favorite WWE wrestlers. Some of you know me as a Randy Orton fangirl. Some of you may not know I'm also a Dolph Ziggler gooner. Whatever that means. That I be doing. In all seriousness, I've wasted so much of my youth, people, waiting for that Dolph Ziggler push. Imagine how many years I've wasted. My entire teenage years waiting for the WWE to wake the f up and push Dolph Ziggler, and that never happened. The amount of times I was heartbroken. It should have been him. I'm gonna say it. The best WWE cash-in of all time. I don't know. That's my list. Make your own. Well, he was on Chris Van Vliet's podcast. Obviously, make sure to check it out. It's a great conversation. Always nice seeing these Chris Van Vliet interviews. Now, when WWE announced this partnership with TNA, there's one thing that was always in my stupid ass mind. Maybe we're going to see Dolph Ziggler returning to the WWE. At least NXT. Obviously, he's a big fan of Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler. That's one thing I was hoping for. I'm not watching TNA simply because I have no time. Sometimes I spend 12 hours a day editing. Okay, I'm only saying that because somebody said your editor did a great job. I'm the editor. I'm the editor, people! Now, spoiler alert, we're most likely not getting Dolph Ziggler in the WWE. But I respect where Dolph Ziggler is coming from. Dolph Ziggler's main point is that he wants the best for TNA. Ziggler basically said he doesn't see a reason why would he be in the WWE. He said, I was the champ, and if I went there and was in the Battle Royal and lost, what am I doing? Kinda makes sense when you realize he wants the best for TNA. If he loses in the WWE, which would probably give him flashbacks, what does that exactly do for TNA?
If it's to go to NXT and have a match, I'm not interested.
He said that doesn't help TNA get on the map somewhere. Now, if it's come fight our champion and because of this we'll have someone come to TNA and do something, please use me to negotiate because I want what's best for TNA. So you're telling me there's a chance. In all seriousness, people, I respect what Dolph Ziggler said right here. Dude is a team player.
I would be open to it if it helped TNA do something.
He said he wanted to leave the WWE for a while, and unlike some talent who are probably very excited just to get on WWE television, I'm talking about the TNA talent, especially the younger talent. Obviously being in the WWE is a big deal. Ziggler is like, been there, done that. He used to say all the time how he stayed in the WWE because he was a team player, and I remember fans were absolutely shocked by how much shit this guy ate. The amount of times he got over and the amount of times he got buried, it never made any goddamn sense. Yet he still stayed in the WWE for so many years. You know why I respect Dolph Ziggler? When he finally had enough, he actually had enough. Like, he's not even excited about this opportunity. If he knows it's going to be good for TNA, he'll consider it. But if you watch the entire interview, he just keeps talking about how he loves being in TNA, he loves the company, and you know, in a way, I gotta respect that.
I really love what I'm doing. I'm really love what we're doing as a company and what I get to do on my free time.
So as a WWE fan, it's a little disappointing. Admittedly, sure, I would like to see him in the WWE, even if it's for a couple of matches, but as a fan of Dolph Ziggler and Nick Nemeth, he just got the most valuable thing in his life. He got the respect of the Great One. You know, it doesn't matter what happens tomorrow, that's exactly what he got. You know, so he can sleep easy tonight. SmackDown needs some changes because the previous episode hit a historic low rating on the USA Network. Just 1,030,000 1,000 viewers, which is pretty bad. You know, I keep making these videos, right, complaining about the WWE, what needs to change, what sucks about the WWE, and I always talk about Raw. Now why do I always talk about Raw and I forget about SmackDown? Because I literally forget that this show exists sometimes. It's just there. At least after watching Raw, we can talk about how kinda bad it was or repetitive it was. SmackDown just kinda has a house show feel. Now, admittedly, some shows were good. I'm a bit exaggerating. But it seems like ever since Monday Night Raw moved to Netflix, SmackDown was very inconsistent, or consistent in being pretty boring, which is the worst type of wrestling. Now, this is according to Body Slam. Sources indicate that WWE is undergoing creative changes to their team to overall improve the product. Okay, that's good so far. I'm interested in the next part. Very interested in the next part, even though I know what's about to happen. I'm just, you know, creating some suspense right here, people. Road Dogg will continue to be head of creative for SmackDown, but there will be additions to the team to make the show more enjoyable moving forward. Well, I guess it's good to have friends. Look, people, Road Dogg wasn't always that bad when it comes to creative. If I'm not mistaken, he was kinda responsible for the 2016 SmackDown, which was a very enjoyable show. Maybe because I was 16 and these are the best years of your life. If you're like 16, 17 right now, worship that shit. The only way is down, people. But I mean, Road Dogg had plenty of time to prove himself, and SmackDown stayed the same, if not gotten worse. At this point, it's like, yeah, but you gotta bring your dumb brother kind of thing. For the record, I'm actually recording this before the latest SmackDown, so if SmackDown in Australia was a great episode, that's not the episode I'm talking about. In general, I think we can all agree, it's not that it's bad, it's just sometimes so insufferably boring. And as a content creator, I can feel that so much, man. Like, if I don't know what to put on the thumbnail, it's like, you had 59 segments, 69 matches, and there was nothing to talk about. It's just there. Let's talk about the Santos Escobar situation. Okay, this is a funny story. The rest of this video was recorded actually yesterday. We heard rumors about Santos Escobar leaving the WWE, refusing to sign the contract. He wasn't happy with the creative. So I make the video. I click render. I spent like at least 5 hours making that video, right? As I was uploading the video, he resigned with the WWE. I saw that, I was like, that's great. Oh shit. Great one, screwed, great one. According to Pro Wrestling Insider, he got a lot of money, and they even talked about how he's not gonna sit in catering because with that kind of money, historically, they can't think of anybody who did. So basically, good for Santos Escobar. In this entire video, I just talked about how great of a talent he is, but in this video, I also talked about how I'm very happy that wrestlers are pretty confident in just saying, no, I ain't gonna sign the contract. I have so many other places to go. Like, you hear stories all the time about guys like Matt Cardona, who's making more money in the indies than the WWE. So it's like, if you're not making that crazy amount of money in the WWE to begin with, you can make more money elsewhere. But it seems like for Santos Escobar, it worked out just fine. Dude has his spine, gotta respect that. Even though he kinda screwed me, didn't he? The Rock's new movie, The Smashing Machine, hit the mat as The Rock's lowest opening ever. It had a $50 million budget and got just $6 million in the opening. This is pretty bad, people. Pretty bad, and I would say pretty unfair, because from what I've seen, this looks like it could be the best The Rock movie ever made. But it's unfortunate that we live in a society where a majority of people just appreciate the mainstream basic shit. I understand, I get it, and that's the reality. The Rock finally tried to do something different. I'm going to become a good actor, pick a serious role, work on my craft. Like, look at The Rock. This is The Rock, people. He looks like a completely different person. I haven't seen the movie yet. By the way, I'm a big movie guy. Like, this year alone, I've probably watched over 100 movies. So I actually can't wait to see the movie. I can't wait to see The Rock's performance, because we all know The Rock's movies are pretty basic, pretty shitty. Easy to consume, they're fine. I'm not saying I can't enjoy the game plan when it's on TV. All I'm saying is this is the case in everything. On YouTube, the more basic your content is, the more views you're going to get. The more basic your movie is, the more people are going to watch. It's just a sad reality, people, and now this sparks a conversation. Will we see The Rock in the WWE? I don't think so, especially because of his weight loss. This is The Rock we're talking about. His entire life is basically looking good, looking his best. Imagine how much he had to commit to actually lose that amount of muscle. Like how much he is committed to Hollywood. I don't feel like we're going to see The Rock in the WWE anytime soon, if ever, when it comes to in-ring competition. I think he's all in when it comes to Hollywood, if anything even more. And The Rock basically responded by saying you can't control the box office, which is actually legitimate, and I hope people realize the amount of views, the amount of box office hits, whatever, it doesn't necessarily dictate the value of content. I guess it's a bit different in wrestling because it's a weekly TV show, and if over time you see a decrease in viewers, big chances are people are losing interest. It's not necessarily fair though when you compare AEW to the WWE because the name recognition is just on a whole different level, so the fact that SmackDown has more viewers than AEW doesn't necessarily mean that AEW is worse than SmackDown. Been a while since I've watched AEW, but I'm sure it can't be that bad. And we all know Kevin Nash is buds with Triple H. Well, he isn't happy with his WWE royalties since TKO took over. And I'm talking about the merchandise. People need to realize how big still to this day the NWO merch is, which in my opinion is the greatest wrestling t-shirt ever made. He said his latest check was half of what it used to be, and they don't even give itemized breakdowns anymore. From what I assume, instead of categorizing each item differently, it basically says NWO merch, which might sound pretty shady. Nash even admitted he thought about suing them or getting the books looked at, though he doesn't want to put the heat on Triple H. Like I've said, they're buds.
It's going to be a forensic accounting, and I'll fucking sue them, and I mean, that's just the way it goes.
I don't have a reason not to believe that Kevin Nash, is wrong in this, knowing TKO's greed. I thought this is an interesting conversation because everybody is feeling the effects of TKO. The fans are getting charged more than ever before. Former wrestlers complaining, YouTubers are getting copyright claim for a video that was made 5 years ago. Also kinda goes to show you how, in a grand scheme of things, insignificant Triple H truly is. Like, most of us probably realize that he's just, responsible for booking in the WWE, but automatically fans tend to throw shade at Triple H all the time. And in reality, I feel like he has nothing to do with this shit. Well, I could be wrong. I feel like most of the decisions we don't necessarily like all the sponsors, WrestleMania in Saudi, all these things, are not necessarily because of Triple H. It's because of TKO. So John Cena is facing AJ Styles in a couple of days, but according to Wrestling Observer, Gunther will indeed be the final opponent of John Cena's career. They could be announcing a tournament to determine his final opponent, with Gunther winning. Okay, so how do we feel about that? I feel like it was pretty obvious to begin with. Now, obviously it's Meltzer. I have no idea. Did he, talk to his sources? Did he pull it out of his ass? I have no idea. Doesn't matter. We're having a conversation. Let me know in the comments below, are you happy with that decision? In theory, I guess it kinda makes sense, especially if Gunther wins the match. Don't get angry at me. I'm just saying, it could do wonders for Gunther's career. He just defeated John Cena. I think the rumors of Edge returning were stupid to begin with. Like, if it happens, I'm gonna lose my mind because it's literally impossible, but I believe wrestling fans were kind of delusional in that one, weren't they? God, I hope I'm gonna eat my words. Oh my god. What I like about it is the idea of a tournament. Like, John Cena's final match is such a big deal. We're going to throw an entire tournament to decide who's facing John Cena. I like that idea. I really do. But again, let me know in the comments below, is Gunther really the perfect choice? If it were me, I would probably do John Cena versus Randy Orton or John Cena versus CM Punk right about now, if it didn't happen before, of course. But I also understand how these kind of matches don't necessarily do nothing for anybody. And finally, the Hardy Boyz won the NXT Championships. They're also going to face the Dudley Boyz at TNA's Bound of Glory, which could be a really interesting, nostalgic match or a total disaster. We'll see. I think it's pretty awesome that the Hardy Boyz won the championships. I'm one of these weird-ass wrestling fans where I don't mind, these legends winning championships and shit as long as it's good television. But I think it's interesting because this TNA and WWE partnership had its weird moments. Like, for example, both men and women's TNA World Champions are from NXT. I always thought that this is pretty unfair. So I guess that was a little refreshing. Thank you so much for watching this video, people. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. The Great One, peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.